Happy lockdown, everybody. It's Cash Night again, and I'm going back to my vlog type thing. I believe this is part three. I'm not too sure. I'm kind of getting confused already. So if this is part three, you can see it's already I've got confused as to where I am. Today, right? Today there's only 25 minutes left of today, so anyway, I'm gonna go in something that I may have mentioned in the past. I don't know whether I mentioned it in previous videos or in a ranking video or in a review video. I have no idea, but I'm sure I've mentioned it. We're going into various parts of my days in hot space, partially because I've noticed there's another band called Hot Space that have sort of formed in 2019, 2020, which is a covers band, fair enough. Yes, the band name kind of did come from the Queen album, even though it's not their greatest album. It's the bottom of my list in my ranking video, but not quite. What happened was, maybe I should go. Yeah, I should. Okay, we're gonna go with it. This might take a while. Right. So, in the beginning, 1999, left school, went into college, right, and I was into the common hard rock, thrash, Megadeth, Metallica, Priest, Maiden, that sort of thing. Um, I was like 16, 17, I think. Yeah, it must have been. Right. And during the first, I was studying music, right? And during that first year, the way we all, on the first day, we came into this room, right? And you walk through the door. Okay, see the room's like there. Okay, now down that side was a load of computers with keyboards, musical keyboards. They must have had normal keyboards as well. I don't know. All the way down there was possibly about five, and then it would go against the back wall. There possibly was a computer there. I can't remember. Then it would come up, more computers and keyboards down here into the sort of middle of the room. And there was a walkway down here with the whiteboard here, and this is where the lecturer would speak. And in that middle section, you'd have computers, keyboards down that side, and then on the other side, the opposite side of it, same thing, same setup, going all the way around along the back wall by the window. And I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, I remember. I think. I don't know. Anyway, what was weird about it was when I first went in, everyone who was into, I suppose you could call it alternative music, went over to the back wall, right? So that was where I went. And everyone who was into the more modern day, it was eclectic, so to speak. On the first section, they'd sort of come in the door and just go straight around there, whereas we went all the way down there. All the ones in the black shirts with some sort of skull or something on the t-shirts, whatnot. We all congregated over that side, and the plan was the lecturer would sort of split us into bands, or would kind of find people to work with as a band sort of thing. And because there wasn't that many of us in the group, it was just split down the middle. It was like, right, okay, this side, which, this side, one band, this side, the other. So all the black shirt wearing ones were one band, and then the other side of the room were another band. And I think it must have been a lot more harder for them because it was different genres. People like different genres a lot. And if you take it into the category of some people liked Oasis, and some people in that same band loved dance music, So I guess it must have been kind of hard for them to work something out. Whereas with us, it was kind of easier because it's got to have guitars. That's all it needs, guitars and loudness and whatever. So that first year, we had this band. It went through a lot of names. I remember at one point we were going to call ourselves Happy Accidents. Duct Tape was another one. Um, Cosmic and the Bum Notes, which lasted a day. I think someone came up with it and it lasted about a day because I just thought it was. I can't remember who came up with it. They just loved the name Bum Note. And we kind of settled on Public Mud Bath. Throughout the year, it was fun. It was weird. Okay, there was a recording studio, proper recording studio in there. We would be learning how to work things like Cubase, and also there's the live side of things, what I'm into, recording live, playing live. Whereas the Cubase stuff, it's all done on the computer and whatnot. And maybe the only live stuff is vocals or whatever, And I think, damn, my memory is really failing me. We did a couple of gigs in the college. Yeah, we did. I know we did one gig in the college, at least one gig in the college, right? And then we did another gig at a place called the Earlston Cottage in Coventry. I don't know whether it's still there, to be honest. And that place was a nightmare because, well, especially for a metal band. You think about it. Metal bands, you like it loud. It's made loud to be played loud. They had a kind of decibel meter. If it went above a certain level, certain loudness, the electric would cut off. It was so annoying for them to have that in a live venue. I also played there when I was in Hot Space, and that we had that same problem, I believe. But we did that. We had fun. I remember we were going around the college. I don't know why. We went into this room. I think it was what would normally be our music theory room, and there's kind of like a buffet laid out. Oh, it must have been for something different. It weren't for us anyway. And I think this is where the name Duct Tape came from. We decided to get like sandwiches and sausages and all the buffet stuff and tape them to our foreheads. We didn't have duct tape, we just had sellotape. We were running around the college with the egg mayonnaise sandwich sellotape to our forehead. I don't know. yeah, that was the first year. I think it was only a few of us, but there was a few of us doing it. It wasn't all of us. Anyway, so towards the end of that year, because it was only a 1 year course, by the way, by this point, I'd convinced myself I could play drums. Okay, couldn't, still can't. I started getting into a bit more of the hair metal stuff, into the hairspray stuff, the Bon Jovis, the Guns N' Roses. I know they're not really hairspray, but that sort of stuff. And I thought I'd try vocals because we used to change who plays what quite a lot, and I couldn't do anything. I started on a tambourine. We actually did a music video for one of the songs, which, yeah, I actually sang on it, kind of, if you call it singing. I can't do it anymore because my voice is just, it hurts my throat. Yeah. But this song, I remember being in one of the rehearsal rooms and we had to come up with an original song. And instead of me being on the tambourine, I got told, right, you're doing the vocals. I can't remember where that came about from. I know I just tried to do this deep voice thing, kind of like James Hetfield. Well, in my mind, it sounded more like James Hetfield than it did of anything else. Didn't have any melody. It was just deep, and I know we tried to cover Stand By Me, and I had all this swearing, just because someone was doing my head, the lecturer was doing my head in, so I just added this swearing just to annoy him. And when it came time to write this original, I got told, like, okay, we want you on vocals, do that voice that you do. And this song was Amnesia. Okay, although at the time I didn't know, I thought the word was amnesia, so it was written amnesia for me when I started writing out the lyrics. And one of the guys, Ollie, he kept saying, no, it's amnesia. He was a couple of years older than us and obviously more intelligent than most of us. Well, I don't know, but he was more intelligent than me. And he's like, yeah, amnesia. I'm like, no, it's amnesia, man. Amnesia. So we recorded that, and it was really basic. I came with a chorus, playing through, and I couldn't think of lyrics. I'd never written a song lyrically, and so I was like, maybe you should just keep this as an instrumental. I'll do something, I don't know. And they're like, no, we're gonna have lyrics to this. Like, the only thing that was going through my head was, I'm suffering with amnesia, living my past again, dying through the ages, bringing metal back. That's all I had, which turned out to be the chorus. And then a guy called Brendan came in, and he came up with the verse, and it was so quickly done. It's like, right, okay, you're just going to repeat verse 1. So you're going to have verse 1, chorus, verse 1, chorus, solo. I think there was a solo. I'm sure there was a solo. And then chorus out. And it worked. And what's really annoying is that I know there was some sort of video documentation of this when we tried to do a promo video thing. We were in this white room, and I remember in the first year my hair wasn't that long. It was just like, it wasn't down here. I had more of it, right? But it was only about there. It was short, but with a little bit of longness. And I had these big Blues Brothers glasses, big, chunky, cheap Blues Brothers glasses, which actually, you know what? I haven't seen anything like it around for years. I had them on, and as the musical intro was going on, I remember the camera sort of panning across us, and I just stood there with the mic, just with my glasses on, just kind of emotionless. I had my Queen shirt on, and this was a shirt which had the Queen 2 album cover, but it was the One Vision version, so it was the Queen from '85 doing the Bohemian Rhapsody famous pose. And as the vocals would kick in, I'd loosened up the mic, right? So I was able to pull out the half mic stand, like Freddie Mercury, and just go into it. And it was so difficult. I can't do it. Yeah, it was easy back then. I was 17, maybe 16, 17. And now, maybe if I just talked, I could do it. My voice it's not as deep, it's not as grufty as I really screwed up my voice thinking about it. Anyway, so that sort of gave me a bit of a bug, like, yeah, this could be good. I could do this whole singing thing, because during that time I was there was another song which someone wrote. We all wrote together, and it was called 1.4 Eyes Under Sand. I had to sing that, and I did it in the same sort of way, but there was a bit more melody, and I can't quite remember. If I see the lyrics, I could possibly remember it. And there was another one which was unfinished. We played Amnesia, 1.4 Eyes Under Sand, and this other one which I never finished the lyrics. It was just, I improvised something. My voice was a bit higher as opposed to the previous two songs. And we also did various other songs where I'd go back onto the tambourine, and that was that last gig. But with this last song that was unfinished, can't remember what the hell it was called, Summer Under Sea or something, I don't know. Heart of the Sea, Dragon Sleeps, I don't know, Dragonfire. I think it was Dragonfire or something. Which it was down to me to write the vocals. I just couldn't write anything, write the lyrics, should I say? But the pitch, I was getting a little bit of melody, and I was able to put the pitch of my voice up a little bit, and my confidence was growing, and I was getting into the more energetic hair metal sort of stuff. Well, Guns N' Roses, Bon Jovi, Poison, so on and so forth, Motley Crue. Yeah, I went through that phase. And over the summer, I would speak to this guy who was in and out of, I think he was mostly with Public Mudbath. I think he did some side projects with the other band, a guy called Stephen. And we were talking about getting this project together for the next year. The next year was a 2-year course. So we had the first diploma, which we aced somehow. All right. And then we would have the national diploma in music. So we thought, let's see if we can get something together. Try and get something in the 80s rock sort of category. And Steve was really sort of easygoing. He's like, yeah. Really easygoing. He's a drummer. And so I'd come up with the name Hot Space. All right. I really liked the word hot space. And looking back, I think there was some sort of subliminal thing that I was doing. But whereas people would say cool, wicked, nowadays they say sick, and I don't know what they say nowadays. But I would say hot space. If you said cool, my version would be hot space, and I'd use that quite a lot. We went into the first year of the second year, the national. Yeah. So this is September 2000, and we went into this room. We all had to play our music tastes. What was it I played? I played "Lay Your Hands on Me" by Bon Jovi. I thought it was a great song. It's full of energy. And I remember. And okay, this is difficult to remember. We went into that same room again where the computers, the old style computers with the screens, which are that long, like in depth, whatever. Again, it was like all the black shirts went over to the back side of the room, but I think a couple of them were flitting between sides. It was like, I know you from somewhere, and flit from side to side. Right, so I basically changed, like in musical, what I was into. I got bored of Metallica and Megadeth. Didn't get bored of Maiden, but anyway, I'd gotten into this hair stuff, and for some reason I got really big into Guns N' Roses, particularly Appetite, Use Your Illusion, 1 and 2. Yeah. It was one of them. I was young, as you do when you first hear Guns N' Roses. Appetite is the greatest album of all time. Then you get to my age and you're like, nah, I don't want to ever see that cover. I don't want to listen to it ever again. It's one of them. Well, that's my opinion anyway. So, trying to remember. Yes, I'm remembering. Right, so yes, right. So as we went up, playing our kind of musical tastes, guy went up. His name is Andy. He played the live version of Paradise City, Guns N' Roses, which I thought was kind of cool. He referred to himself as Morgs, and in all honesty, I wasn't really paying attention to much of what was going on. So these new people, I didn't know. Morgs was new on the course. Didn't know who he was at the time. So I don't think I was really set to be making friends. I don't know. I know. Damn, what did Steve play? Oh yeah, Steve went up and played Californication by Chili's, which I hate. Hate that song. I don't really like the Chili Peppers either. These are the ones who end up being in Hot Space. I can't remember what everyone played. There's another guy called Luke who played Crying by Aerosmith. And then there was a girl called Lisa who played Time of Your Life by Green Day. Then we had a break, right? And as we were going out on this break, going to get coffee and whatnots, this guy sort of approached me. It was Morgs, it was Andy. And it was like, hey, oh yeah, something I forgot. I was in a stupid mood, and when we were writing our name and sort of musical styles, I went all out. I was like, right, my name's Christina. I like this. Whereas everyone else put their name or maybe nickname and genre, you know. I changed so much. I kind of got a bit more eccentric. Well, not so much eccentric, but weird. Looking back on it, I was weird, right? Not proud of that. Just stupid. That was just stupid of me. Yeah, so this guy came up to me. No, how did he call me? How did he call me Khash? I'm sure he came up and called me Khash. I have no idea. Right. Anyway, this guy turned out to be Morgs. Approached me. He called me Khash. I'm so sure he called me Khash. And I was like, hey, I noticed you got the same sort of musical taste as me. So blah blah blah. You know, we started talking. We went and had a coffee, and we were talking about putting a band together, what we could do, and our ideas were just bang. You know, we were clicking. It was amazing. You know, what bands we liked, blah 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 blah. It's just like yes, we do this band, da da da. So when we went back, we were sitting together, and I think a few more people were talking, you know, introducing themselves and whatnot. We were talking about like, okay, we were doing this whole audition thing in our minds, like, maybe, could be, you know, definitely not, that sort of thing. He was a guitarist, by the way, and I put down that I was the vocals. Still, I couldn't sing. Right. Anyway, my back hurts, man. I'm getting old. So I can't remember which way around this was. Right, I think I asked Lisa if she wanted to join us to do this 80s band sort of thing. She played keyboards, and that was a very 80s thing, and I fancied her. I liked it real bad, and that was my reason, like, hey, she's hot, she plays keyboards. Don't care if she listens to Green Day. Let's see if she listens to anything else and bring her on our path. I don't know the exact words, but we're like, hey. And she was like, yeah, cool. And then there was that guy called Luke. In all honesty, he was the Jamie of Hot Space in the beginning. Pete knows what I mean. He belonged in the park, man. I've never put that together, but I believe he belonged in the park. If anyone knows us from school, they'll probably know about the park. Yeah, so Luke belonged in the park. Never put that together. Damn it. And he came over to us and like, hey, you guys need a guitarist. Morg's already being a guitarist. Yeah, I think he was a bit sort of, what? But I thought, two guitarists? No, I think he said rhythm guitarist. I think he introduced himself as a rhythm guitarist. And like, well, that leaves you free to do lead. You know? And I was like, okay, cool. And Steve, who we renamed to Sticks because it was cooler, he was just around. He was hanging around because I'd spoke to him over the summer. Like, we need a drummer. Here's Steve. You know, he's a drummer. And that was it. You know, there was Hot Space, the first incarnation of it. Damn it, there were so many of them. We went on a break and we were all discussing various things of what we were doing. Yeah, I think what happened was the class had finished. We had all this time to put things together. Possibly we were one of the first to say we've got a band, you know, before the end of the class. So we were put into the rehearsal rooms. Like, okay, you've got to do 4 covers. Being in college, you can do a cover. So discuss what you want to cover. And the songs that came out was Lay Your Hands, Bon Jovi, Let It Be, Crying, Let It Be Beatles, Crying Aerosmith, and Live and Let Die, the Guns N' Roses version. Yeah, not the Wings version. Because the Guns N' Roses version at the time was better to me and Morgs. We were both into GNR. Now, the Wings version is better, in my opinion. And so, after some debate, that was our set. Even though I think there was 5 of us in the band. Me, Morgs, Sticks. Yeah, it was 5 of us, and we did 4 songs. I think it was Steve who missed out. I think he was like, yeah, let's do Let It Be, along with Lisa. And there was a lot of tension. There seemed to be a lot of tension during that first rehearsal. We were just trying to jam through some things. I didn't know the lyrics to Let It Be. We tried Lay Your Hands on Me, and Luke didn't know that. And we can't take the piss out of him for the first 3 months. Yeah, I remember it. At the time, you know, so over this sort of time, over this period, we're like, okay, we need a band name. Now, one of the band names, obviously I had Hot Space in my head. And another name that I had was Scandal. And there was Scandalous Illusion, which I remember there was a letter at my place, and Lucy would come over to my place a lot. I never got anywhere with that, unfortunately. But you know, she'd come over to my place and we'd chat and whatnot. And there was a letter, and it said Scheidegger. And she's like, I like that. That should be our band name. I was like, nah, man, nah. But she brought that up to the rest of the people in the band, and it was a unanimous no. And then Morgs sort of said, I like that word that you've been saying every so often. That, you know, like, what word? I think in the back of my mind I knew what he was on about. I went, yeah, if something's cool, you say hot space. I've never heard anyone say that before. And like, yeah, I like that. And obviously I was in agreement with it, and everyone was like, yeah, okay, Hot Space. That's our band name. That's how we became Hot Space. So over the course of these next 3 months, up to December, we'd rehearse. Rehearsals, some were good, some were bad. Some just weren't happening at all, and I can't remember what song it was. I don't know. Anyway, I opted to play bass. Couldn't play bass, and Morgs taught me the what I did know at the time. So we were doing Let It Be. The first song, I think the first song we were working on was Let It Be. We were also put into the studio to record Let It Be. During the rehearsals, we decided that Lisa should sing it. I didn't know it. You know? And yeah, so when it came to the bass, I didn't know what to play, and Morg was like, okay, this. He showed me, and I was able to record it. And we added this solo, which was really nice. I can't remember whether it's the original solo or not, but yeah, to me it was a kick-ass solo. When it came to doing the Aerosmith, we didn't record the Aerosmith one. Crying, Luke wanted to do vocals. So okay, he wanted to do vocals and guitar. And I was put on bass again, and that one's way more complicated to play. I remember I messed up when we did the gig. We had a gig on the 13th of December, I think it was, 2000. When we got to that point of, no, we started with Crying. So I was on bass, and I messed it up so badly because I didn't know what I was playing. I just got so confused. At one point or another, it was suggested that we cover Bohemian Rhapsody. When that idea came up, me and Morg looked at each other like, what? I remember that, and all the rest of them were like, yeah, we should do this. And like, you want me to sing Bohemian Rhapsody? Are you nuts? Right? I can't sing. Couldn't sing. I was full of confidence, yes, but I had this thing that you don't cover a Queen song. Nobody covers a Queen song and does it justice. In my mind, I don't think I've heard any cover that has done it justice. You know, the cover's done the original justice. I don't think so. And you know, and that includes some of my favourite bands covering Queen. I don't think the covers are any better than the originals. I think they're substandard to the originals, you know. And I think we tried that for the day. So this is like 3 hours of trying to get Rhapsody. And I remember at first, I couldn't even remember the lyrics. I think I was in this state of shock. Like, why are we doing this? And we wouldn't have the is this the real life bit. It would just kick in with the piano, and there'd be Mama, right? That first word just eluded me completely. And once I got the first word, the rest of it was kind of, you know, it sort of flows, but it was so bad. And thankfully, as we were walking out, I believe it was when we were walking out of the rehearsal room, like, someone suggested, no, we shouldn't do Rhapsody. I was like, thank you. Right. So that was kind of gift from, you know, just don't do it. So also during this time, over the summer, I'd learned how to build websites through HTML. You know what? There's a moustache hair, which I can see right there. It's bugging me. Right. So anyway, I can still see it. Right. So there was this. I'd learned HTML to a basic standard, so I could build a website. Now remember, this is 2000, so there was not really JavaScript and stuff. Later on, there was things like applets and stuff. But HTML was kind of the future. If you knew HTML, you were amazing. You were tech god back then. Well, that's the way it seemed to me. Everyone was like, "You could build websites." I'm like, yeah. And so I started working on the Hotspace website. And what I'd done is I'd taken the writing from the album cover, changed it red, right, and then added a little registered, registered trademark, the R in the circle at the end of it, just to make it different. But I'd left a gap, right? So it will be an R in a circle, but there's a gap in the circle. So theoretically, we were hot spacer, but we were always hot space. We registered the name on bandname.com way back in 2000. I don't know whether it still exists. Yeah, so we put this website together. Well, I did, and man, I can still remember it. We had didn't have digital cameras, we had the standard film-based cameras, and we kind of did what we thought were kind of promo shots. We'd lean against the wall. It was me and Morgs. Most of it was me and Morgs. We just clicked so much, it's just like this. We wanted the same thing. We wanted to be rock stars and live the Motley life, the Motley Crue life that, and so there were just various pictures, loads of pictures of me and Morgs, and then there was random ones of Steve. I don't think there was there was one of Lisa and Luke. There was a couple more, like they were mostly me and Morgs. A few more of Steve or Sticks, and then there was some of Luke, and there was very, very few of Lisa. I think she was camera shy or something. But I remember there was this one picture, the original lineup, and I've got it somewhere. I've got the original lineup of Hot Space, and we're all there holding an instrument. I'm holding the bass, and yeah, so that was that. It was very, very poorly done. I had the logo. I said that I coloured in red, didn't I? Right, and the thing is, I didn't change it. So when it's scanned and I tried to cut it out and stuff, it had all the pixelated edges, so it's very pixelated. But it does give it that slight difference, as opposed to being like nice and pen-like. At the time, I loved the way that the H turned into T. That was the only thing about it for me. Yeah, so in the studio sessions, we'd also decided we were going to work on Lay Your Hands. We recorded that. I'm glad there's no evidence of that. My vocals were terrible. I remember being in there and imagining I was on stage. So I was dancing around in the vocal booth area, and it didn't work. And eventually I did stand still and try and sing it, and it still didn't work. And then there was a point, possibly around about October time, me and Morgs, we were like, we need to start writing originals. We're going to take Hot Space to the next level. We're going to start writing originals. And I brought to him some lyrics which I'd come up with over the summer, and it turned out to be Edge of Sanity. And I had the basic structure, and I had ideas. I brought to him, and he was like, yeah, I like this. No, we shouldn't have that. We should change that word. And he added this and this, and then we were talking like, right, we need to. Right, so I can't quite remember where I was. Yeah, so we were like, we should have this bit which goes into double time. We're gonna have this evil riff. We're gonna have one solo here, and the second solo, which was the main solo, that would go into double time. So we really sort of worked it out, and it kind of turned out like that. I don't think we went into double time and whatnot. And those key changes. I remember it just sitting there with the lyrics. I've still got the original lyrics, with the crossings out and the extra lines put in and whatnot. And I remember the sort of bit evil riff, solo 1, solo 2. I remember thinking, I didn't know much about music at all, And here I am thinking like going double time and key changes and whatnots. And so we decided to try and record this. It didn't have a vocal melody. I think it just came out. Never recorded it to its full potential. We did. I know we got all of them done. I don't think we EQ'd it and whatnot. Did we? No. I don't know. We possibly mixed it. I had a mini disc player at the time, mini disc recorder, portable thing, which had a little microphone on it, and we'd record our rehearsals, and I was able to plug it into the mixing desk and play it through, and we'd get like the instrumental. You know, as far as we got, we'd have that on mini disc, which I have got somewhere. I've got mini discs all over the place. I just don't know what's on what because my mini disc player is broke. And I've got one in my stereo which doesn't work. Yeah, so specifically the specific reason that I bought this radio was because it had a mini disc player in it, and the mini disc player does not work. It needs cleaning. I think that's what it is. But yeah, so that was. Yeah, I know somewhere I got an instrumental of the original recording. I think Morg's got a recording of with vocals, which I wasn't that happy with. We started working on another one. And this is all before the gig, and this is kind of where there was a bit of segregation going on. I'm just trying to think. No, I don't think. So I'm talking about a song called Invincible, right? And I'm thinking we recorded that in early 2001. But part of me remembers going into the studio on my own, right, after the gig, and doing some work on a track. And the only time I did that on my own was with Invincible. I'm not sure. My memory has given up on me. Damn. Right, so anyway, at some point we worked on Invincible. This is a song that Morgs wrote, and he had this sound that he wanted more higher, which is something I never accomplished. The only thing I like about the song is just before the solo, I'd say, show him how to dance, Morgs. That's the only thing I liked about my take on his song. And so anyway, we did this gig, right? And Morgs has gotten into a bit more Bon Jovi, and we've gotten more into the Bon Jovi sort of thing. So we went out, got cowboy boots, I got leather trousers, I got a cowboy hat. Morg's still being influenced by Slash. He tried to get a top hat, couldn't get one, and he ended up going to this party shop, this costume shop, and got this top hat from there. There was something he wanted to work with the Union Jack, which came around at our second gig, which is the one we don't mention, but I'm going to mention here just because. Anyway, so we got dressed up. I'd had my hair kind of permed, like a loose perm sort of thing, not a tight perm, it was kind of a loose perm, because it seemed more 80s to me, and I wanted to be in that sort of thing. And so I had this red Scout neckerchief. You know, Scouts, they have that sort of scarf. I knew it as a neckerchief, right? And when I was in Scouts years before, our one was just red. Okay. I don't know whatever happened to that, but I had that, used it as a bandana, and I had my cowboy hat, my leather trousers, and that was it. Morgs went and got shirts printed, and it was only for me and him. You know, this is where we really sort of segregated us and them. You know, it was me and him, and then session musicians, kind of in our minds, which unfair to think that way, but that's the way we were thinking. We were young, stubborn, and kind of overconfident. Well, I was definitely. And yeah, so this t-shirt was a white t-shirt. It had a match with a bit of a flame on the go, and it just said hot space above it. I've still got my one somewhere in the attic. And I had this leather waistcoat. We went on stage at some point, and yeah, I'm trying to remember. We opened with Crying, so that had Luke on guitar and vocals, right? Uh, the audience, which was full of everyone from college, just weren't really into it. And then we went into Lay Your Hands, which is where I took over, because I was on bass before. I had the cowboy hat and whatnot on bass, and I was just really trying to concentrate. You know, didn't know what I was doing. And anyway, thankfully I was able to put that down. Went over, took the mic off, took my cowboy hat off, and I started interacting a little bit. Can't remember what I said. I think I said I wanted to say happy birthday to my little sister. And I think that just sort of pricked everyone's ears up, maybe. Who knows? I don't know what happened from the audience point of view. But when it kicked in, man, I sounded terrible. I always did. But at that point, me and Morgs were on the same sort of wavelength. We wanted to run around the stage. So I tried running around the stage, and I'd get up and sort of lean in. We were on a raised stage, like really raised. So I weren't really leaning into the audience, but I'd lean a little bit, and there's this massive gap where there's a dance floor. And, you know, I was going all over the stage as much as possible. Morgs tried it. You know, when the song kicked in, I was up in front. He was on my right. Yes, right. And he was going to dart behind me, go over to the other side. I didn't know this. I started going backwards, and we sort of clashed a little bit, and he calmed down a little bit, but he was still sort of going and sort of banging his head and whatnot. And yeah, at some point I was hitting the cymbals, really putting Steve out of sync and out of time. I didn't know. I didn't understand. I think I headbutted the cymbal at one point. And in the song there is a breakdown, particularly live, where you would get the audience to sing, right? And I did that. I held out the mic, and the audience started singing. Okay, now that is an unbelievable feeling. I mean, if that was my song, it'd be boom up here. But even though it weren't, I was like, whoa, you know, they're singing back to me. You know, I'm commanding the stage, like boom, and I lost track of everything. I got so hyped up, and I was running around and jumping and all kinds of stuff. And then we started getting this cheer from the audience, this clapping, which we didn't have. I think we had a little bit of clapping with Crying, but it was like, you know, there was a bit of whistling going on and everything. Like, whoa, we could hear it properly. And then I put the mic back on the stand, picked up the bass, ready to go into Let It Be. Lisa's sort of there, I think, or she was there. I'm not sure where she was, right? And I was a bit more confident. There was a microphone here. I know her keyboard was sort of there behind me, but for some reason I'm thinking she was up at the front. Well, there's a massive gap anyway. So I had the bass, put my cowboy hat back on, and I was just so hyped up, and I knew the song, I knew how to play it, so I was confident with that. And then I tried to do a bit of backing vocals, and when I tried to do the backing vocals, I messed up the bass. So I was like, nope, step away from the mic. Another thing, when it came to the recording Let It Be, I missed this out, was that when we tried to add backing vocals to the chorus, and the sound engineer slash teacher, whatever, is like, it sounds like a football crowd, man. Oh, we can't have that. So we cut them out. But yeah, that was Let It Be, and then came back to Live and Let Die. I came back on, and that went down really well. All I know is I was jumping around and stuff. There was one point where I nearly did the splits, like in midair. I was close to it. There is a video capture, like screenshot, so to speak, of me in mid jump with my legs, and I'm doing this because I'm trying to get people to clap and whatnot. And I was clapping way out of time. But I put the microphone back and I jumped off the stage, and that was it. The rest of the night's a blur. I know we started drinking. I shouldn't have done. I was only 17, but I was 18 in like 2 days, so it didn't matter. Right, so then I think it must have been the day after, or maybe on the Monday. I can't remember what day the gig was, but on the next day we were back in college. We went straight to the studio and we were going to work on something, whether it was Sanity or whether it was Invincible, I don't know. I'm thinking that it wasn't Invincible by this point. And I remember sort of going around and everyone knew who everyone was saying, hey, Hot Space and stuff. We were so, wow, we were in awe. And I remember this one girl, she always had straight hair. But that day, the day after the gig, or a couple of days after the gig, she had like a loose perm. And we put it down in the history. We were doing a history page on the website, in which we did sort of slate Luke. I'll get into that in a bit. Like, Morgs put in, to everyone's surprise, this girl had permed her hair after seeing Khash at the previous gig. We called that, before the gig, we gave the gig a name. It was called Welcome to Hot Space. Even though there was a million other bands, this was our gig. It's Welcome to Hot Space. As I was saying about taking the piss out of Luke, we did it a lot. There was a photo of me. I particularly remember this photo, and it had him with this guitar, and it was really high up his body, from what I remember. And he's looking down at some sort of shape, possibly power chord. He's looking down at it, and Mugs, we always titled as you do, the file name for a photo, we'd write out the whole thing. If we had like Hot Space original lineup September 2000, we'd write that .jpg. We just wrote that, is this an A? And there was a pictures part of the website where you'd hover the mouse over that picture and it would say, is this an A? So he got a bit slated. He belonged in the park, and I think that's where he's gone, because he hasn't been seen much. Saw him a few times, but very, very rarely. Never see him anymore. So that was the end of the term, so to speak. And that was also the end of the original lineup. So that's took an hour. Should I go into part 2? think I might do. Consider it's 12:30. I want a coffee. I'm not going to stand here and make a coffee while I'm talking to you. I mean, that's pretty ignorant. I could pause it and make a coffee and go back to it. I could, because I'm kind of in the mood. I am in the mood to continue this, and whenever I try to write this down, the furthest I've kind of got to is the end of 2000, which is where we're at right now. But I'll tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to continue this tonight, and I'm going to put it part 1, part 2, just so it's a bit more easier to listen to, you know. Give it an hour for each section. It's only a 2-year course, but there's a lot of detail. Well, the second year is a bit more blurry, so there's not much to say about the second year. There is, but there isn't, if that makes any sense. Right, so I'm going to cut this off here. I'm going to go make a coffee. I'll be back, but it depends when this uploads, when I decide to upload part 2, how long it takes, if YouTube is working properly, because it didn't work with my last couple of videos. I had to just wait and wait and wait. Okay, so for now, if you like the video, please give it a like. If you'd like to comment, give it a comment. In a different vlog, in a different one, maybe we'll go into the park. Maybe. I don't know. Might mention something in a totally different one. I'm planning on doing a part 2 to the Proud of Pete one anyway, because since talking to him a lot more memories have come back, and you know, he remembers things, I remember things, and just come together. It's like, damn, I forgot about that as well. So that might get mentioned, and what's going on moving forward. So, as I said, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, hit the bell, ring that hell's bells. So that's a stupid thing to say. I just thought I'd tie it in. AC/DC, hell's bells, hit the notification bell. Yeah, let's go AC/DC. Bang that bell. No, it's still terrible. All right, forget it. All right. Catch you in part 2. Stay safe. Mamsabula. That depends when you're going to watch part 2. So if you're not watching part 2 tonight or next, stay safe. See you soon.